So actually, Peter so generously offered and agreed to help us do some of the interviews. So I'm just going to turn it right over to Peter because he's got Suse with us, kind of Susie's one of our longtime volunteers. So we'll just jump right in. So
no, I call you Susie. Would you prefer to be called Susie or Sue or Susan?
As long as it's
Susan Belleville.
Susie's fine.
Susan Belleville.
Not Susan, Susie.
Suse Belleville.
Okay, now that we got that straight.
We have just finished. We've just finished a shift,
Busy shift.
a morning shift, a very busy morning shift. And just to give you an idea of what happens here at the food bank, scores of volunteers behind us, making up hampers, filling up special hampers, and then move towards the front, and there's another crew of people who are running around very busy, loading up giant grocery carts with the orders that people put in when they visit the food bank. And here's how it goes. They come into the food bank, I'm the greeter, the slackest guy in the house. All I do is point them at wonderful people like Susie, and probably on a busy day, 3 other, I guess, administrators is what we call them, who will sit them down, take their information, and hear their stories. And there's a lot of those, aren't there?
Oh, lots. Always lots.
How long have you been here at the food bank?
Oh, over 15 years.
Really?
Yeah. Started right, the beginning. I was sorting food and doing hampers, did all those little jobs, and then ended up being in the computer processing room, which I love. I love meeting all the people and all that, so it's really good.
And I get to hear you guys interviewing these people, and you do such a wonderful job. It's so personable.
Yeah.
It's not stiff and bureaucratic. You really, I think some of these people feel like they've made a friend when they leave after talking to you and the other administrators. It's a great thing. And so just to give folks an idea, we were here this morning for a little over 3 hours. How many people do you think you saw?
Oh gosh, I don't know. It just rotates, right? So it's one after another. So
Well, I can tell you, it's 26.
26, really? Wow. Okay,
26,
there you
and
go.
there's 4 of you.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how much the other was, but I was counting your cards.
Yeah.
Oh, you explain the cards. When the groceries go out, people get it when they finish interviewing you. You write their name on a card, and they take it out to where they get their groceries.
So there's no mix-up of hampers.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then the card comes back in to me.
Okay, so you can
So on.
count it.
Yeah, so on. So if I counted your cards this
Okay.
way.
Yeah, it
So
was busy.
It was very busy.
Yeah. Yeah, we want to get people processed as soon as possible. Still chat and be friendly and all that.
But some people are complicated. They are new immigrants. There's
Any sort. People are people. So you get big families, singles, students, people new to Canada, everything.
And I've heard you get through an order with somebody who has no English.
Oh yeah.
How do you do that?
So for me, we got a lot of little tools here. We do have Google Translate, so we do use that for short sentences. We can communicate that. It's an asset. They're happy that we're able to use that so that we know that all their needs are met. We do have little flashcards to say, the type of foods or items, hand soap, whatever, thumbs up, thumbs down, or little sign language, or you got a cat or a dog and go ruff, or meow, meow. You do whatever you can to get your point across. They laugh, I laugh, but hey, it's all good.
Yeah, and there is a lot of laughter because our goal, and I'm saying this collectively, when people come in, is to take that element of, another word for it is maybe shame or embarrassment about having to come to a food bank and make it a light experience and a friendly experience, and we know you need this help temporarily, and here you go. So how long, so you've been here for
over 15 years.
15 years. And I understand you volunteer for a couple of other things.
Oh yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
Sure. I'm a community do-gooder, so I am involved with probably 10 other organizations, but mainly I would say like the Canadian Red Cross. Usually help the people there when they get displaced because of fire or flood or whatever circumstances.
Wow.
The CNIB for the blind. I always feel it's really good to know people, really know people out of your comfort zone, anyone who has disabilities.
Yes.
The more you understand how people are, you got to treat everyone equal and know that whatever you're used to is not necessarily what they're used to. So you want to be able to communicate and interact and everyone, feel good.
That's right.
So yeah, reforest London,
Reforest London, so that's
trees will save the
Red
world. Go
Cross
plant a lot of
Synergy
trees, I
Reforest.
tell you.
Well, they will save the world.
They will. They clean the air, give shade, everything.
And, and
Nature is
speaking-
good
and
mentally.
we have nature right behind the food bank here.
Yeah, we do.
With
The
the
garden.
wonderful gentleman that grows all the
Yep.
wonderful plants and
Yeah,
stuff
it's a
and
great program.
vegetables. Because,
Everyone's I would say a lot of people are impressed with what we give in London. A good variety and balance of, your dry goods, your pastas, your rice, your canned goods, your fruit, your vegetables, your milk, your eggs, bread, and now we
Meats.
get meats.
Yeah.
So that's a real rounded compared to 10 years ago when it was a lot smaller.
And the specialty hampers that we have.
Yeah, vegetarian ones. We do address if diabetics and gluten
Wow.
and halal. We have halal meat. We try to meet people's needs as best as possible, subject to availability. So we try to communicate that and inform people. So it's good. I always believe the more information you give the people, they appreciate it, so they can make their own choices depending on their own circumstances. Absolutely, everybody is different.
And you guys are also advisors, because I hear you and the other administrators telling people where they can get other services
Absolutely.
in the community.
Absolutely. So we always say this is like the main food hub for the food hamper, but we also let them know of other organizations that run separately from us.
Yes.
But just letting them know, hey, if let's say in 2 weeks you're still struggling, you need help, are you aware of these other places, Salvation Army or St. Peter Cathedral? So we try to keep them as informed as possible, and if they have any questions, we ask the best that we can. I always refer them to 211. That's a service that they can look into online or call, and it does tell you all the other. London's where we have a lot of extra services and organizations help people who need a hand up, or just to get over that hump. And a lot of people, it's not like they'll come when it's hard, and once they get a job and they're back on their feet, we don't see them for a while. I had someone who the last time they were here was like over 3,500 days ago. Wow. So I always just say,
that's like 10 years.
That's a long time.
That's 10 years. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. And I go, yeah, we don't need to come. We don't come. We donate instead. But then, life changes, things happen, and now they're back here.
Back had to be more than 20 years ago, 25 years ago, we did this woman here was responsible, Jane Roy, for doing a survey of the clients in line, because there was this misinformation that it was kind of like the same people every week. When we got the results back, it was sensational news, and what news that we knew about, but that the public was not aware about, and it changed the whole aspect, because it was that I think something like 70% of the people who came to food bank used it 4 times a year or less. And I think that's probably the same right now. So
it's a variety, because it really depends on their circumstances.
Yeah.
There are some people that may come every month, but that's because they got a large family, or maybe they are working. When you have food costs and all that has risen.
Oh, yeah.
So even though, someone might be working or part-time or whatever, we're kind of offsetting it. And most people, if they don't have to come here, they really would not want to.
They don't want to.
So in general, I'll say that's the most, the best out of it. But I mean, we have our own rules, pretty basic, and we treat everyone the same. It's once a month, and have a valid ID, and we'll take care of them.
That's right. We
take care of people. I mean, food is a necessity, so we try to make them feel good when they come in, and it's like, don't worry about it. There's no shame. There's nothing. We're here, do some side talk, and they're grateful. They have an awesome day. And I'm glad that I could do one thing in the day to make them feel good.
The other day, there was the annual volunteers barbecue that we had, and I'm always shocked at how many people.
There's a lot.
Wow. And that's just this food bank, right? Jane, how many people volunteer at this food bank?
Well, we have about 200 250 regular volunteers. We have 3,000 people on our database. So there's a number of people that come ad hoc. I
Wow.
think there's about 400 or 500 that got invited to the
Yeah,
volunteer
that's a
party.
lot of people.
And then there's all the folks that help off-site, like Business Cares Committee. And
Sure.
like there's
Yeah,
tons of there's a lot of
Oh,
people.
yeah. A lot of
Community
people.
community's pretty amazing.
it is.
But the core of the volunteers for me is Susie, like you folks that actually serve the people.
Mhm.
It's pretty amazing the work that you do.
It is.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I know you love it. I do too.
I know. It's very humbling. Even if I'm having a bad day, you come here, there's always someone else that's having it worse off. And
What
it's
am I
like,
complaining
puts
about?
me in my place, and it's like, you know what? And then I feel good. It warms my heart. You know, you help somebody out. Or my dad, it tickles my heart. You know, it's like, do something
Yeah,
good. to
Dad's
somebody.
right. You've got a big heart to warm too, so
Thank
good for you.
you.
All right. All right. Well, thanks a lot for talking to us on
Thank
this.
you.
And I'm replacing Glenn. He's announced that he's on strike, some kind of an interviewer's strike. So I got to fill in for him, and
I'm giving you the 2 thumbs up. You did a
we'll
great
see,
job.
we'll see you next Thursday.
All right, thanks, Peter.
Yeah, so they're saying goodbye, but Peter asked to do this in a corner room, and you've been hearing kind of what's happening outside of, I've just kind of, we'll blur out some of the folks there, but I mean, it's been so busy. I mean, both of you have been working Thursdays for how long together?
Well, I've been front of Food Bank for 2 years,
Yeah,
but in the background for probably 37.
37, yeah, which is right from the very beginning.
Yeah,
Susie's been 15, but now you see, I mean, you're front line. This is what people think about when they think about the food bank. So both of you are incredibly important to all that we do.
Well, thanks, Jane.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so.
You're incredibly important too.
You
Thank
are
you for
too,
asking
yeah.
us to do this.
So I just one final quick question then, because it's also about getting to know you, Susie. 15 years.
Yeah.
Do you have like a favorite moment, or like what have you learned the most, or kind of what's like 15 years? What's been kind of the biggest? Like wow.
You know what? I love working with our
Yeah.
group. Thursday mornings are always, I say the best. But
Yeah.
we joke around. You do make a lot of friendship.
Yeah.
It feels good. I mean, it's just, you come in, you know
Yeah.
people, you're doing good. You know, we all have each other's back. If you need help,
Yeah.
we'll help, you
Yeah.
know. A training, same thing. So, for people, there's always, sometimes you get people, they're, they tell their story. You just listen. They just need somebody to listen.
That's right.
You know,
Yeah.
you're almost kind of like a psychologist on the side. Just listen,
Mhm.
make them feel good. You're heard, and you know what? I'm going to do something good to you. That makes my day.
Yeah.
You know, it does. It's just okay. My rest of the day is good.
And the other thing is that all the kids get a candy from Uncle Pete when they come in
That is
during
totally
my shift on Thursday morning.
Subject to availability.
Subject to available.
well. I think during the summer we do have some freezies someplace. So make sure you,
Yeah,
every time you
okay.
come,
Oh, the
you find the
freezies.
freezies because it gets hot out
that's
there.
good treat. Yeah.
But that is one of the things I love about the volunteers is that you kind of develop friendships and you've developed your own little crew,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like this. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, I know.
And
Good
you get
people.
to work with Peter Garland,
So what?
Yes, and I get to work with you.
and you get to work with Susie
Susie
Belleville.
Belleville.
That's awesome. That's
It's a
awesome.
good group.
Anyway, thank you so much, both of you. Really.
Thank you.
Okay. Cut.